Hi, welcome to the TLBL show. Team Liquid and Bud Light have partnered up to bring you some exciting behind-the-scenes content with our League of Legends support staff and our team. We're going to be talking with them throughout the year, so we hope you're very excited to tune in with us. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Ben Zyper. I'm one of the social media managers at Team Liquid for the League social media account. You probably don't know my face, but here's some of my work. I was one of the people behind the Alfari farewell video, which would have been so great if we had beaten Cloud9 this past weekend. I was one of the people that came up with NAMen or NAMen. I'm not really sure how that is supposed to be pronounced. I just typed it. I never really think about the pronunciations. I was also one of the people that used to do the TSM counter, how many days it had been since we lost them, which was awesome until it backfired. That one time they've beat us in playoffs last year. But that was just free real estate, giving them some extra social media boosts. I'm very excited to be here today. We have a very special guest. He's the co-CEO of Team Liquid. He's the former Curse support and the currently Curse CEO at Worlds. Steve Arhancet, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's great to have you.
That was some really good fire content, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You know, I actually, I have a message from you from like 3 years back where you said something like, I would rather the kid flame and we have to tell him to stop flaming than never let him flame at all.
You just got to have the creativity, you know, just go out and have some fun.
Does anyone ever call you the Stevie-O? Is that like a nickname?
No, it's never been a thing.
I think someone should pick it up. I think it fits.
It might now be a thing. You just made it a thing.
Can we get that going? We're going to get you a beer because this is a Bud Light Team Liquid
that
podcast.
Sounds very good.
So,
I am parched.
We got some beer coming in right there.
Oh, that.
Perfect. High production value stuff right there.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh, woo. There you go.
Can I also get one hand under the desk? Thank you so much.
Oh, that looks good.
We have an exciting episode coming up right now. We're going to talk about the midseason showdown. We're going to talk about the offseason. We're going to talk about the future of NA.
That sounds great.
We're going to play a game. We're going to see how well you actually know the history of your League of Legends team's playoffs runs. And also at the end, we're going to take some fan questions from Twitch chat. I'm very excited to be here. Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
I am 22, by the way.
Okay. Who can guess my age?
I looked it up before this, actually.
Oh, you did?
But yeah, you're an enigma. I really didn't know how old you were. How long you've been alive, I guess is the phrase.
Yeah, it was close to dirt, I guess.
Before we get into it, go to Bud Light Gaming's Twitter. Thank you so much for Bud Light for doing this. But go to their Twitter, follow them, and give their most recent tweet a retweet for a chance to enter to win some Bud Light merch, a signed jersey by the Team Liquid team, and a full year's worth of Bud Light. That's a lot of Bud Light.
Holy, are you serious?
A full year's worth.
A full year?
Yeah, you can enter and follow too. Do you follow them?
Well, that would be kind of cheap, you know, if I win it.
Yeah, we got a lot of beer here anyways. We got a lot of Bud Light here anyways.
I can't do that. I'm taking it away from somebody, but that's actually pretty legit.
Yeah.
There's got to be a cap, like, on the amount of beer that you can get.
I think it's one per day for 365 days. I think it depends on where you live, how much you drink. You got to enter a lot of information, your BMI, stuff like that.
That's pretty cool, though. Damn.
Did you drink a lot of Bud Light in college?
Oh, my God, of course. Absolutely. Yeah.
Were you ever good at Pong?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I'm not terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, I've played a decent amount. So I went to James Madison University, which is in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. You're not next to any major city. And yeah, we did a lot of beer pong and house parties and some studying.
What did you study there?
I did a major in business management with a focus on entrepreneurship, technology, and innovation with a minor in creative writing.
Wow. Your parents must have been very proud of you.
Yeah, they were happy to get me out of the house.
And I can see why you got into gaming if you're in the middle of nowhere, you know, studying all those things.
Yeah. I mean, I was a gamer well before then. My parents would run into the bedroom or just pick up the phone, which does show my age a little bit, and get me off the internet. So, and I remember screaming like put the phone back down, you know?
I have no idea what you were talking about. We're going to play a game of Pong, though. I just graduated from college recently, and I know your gift got lost in the mail, so it's coming. I thought it'd be fun if we play one last game of Pong before I enter into adulthood. But there's a bit of a twist on the game of Pong.
Wait. Do you have experience in this or no?
I'm really good. My roommate and I, Kyle, we would sweep everywhere. We were a great duo, but I'm not lying. We were very, very good. But let's see if you're better. You got that age on me.
At least you're not a shark. At least you're just like upfront about it. So that's good.
The way we put a twist on this game is on the bottom of these cups is a topic. And depending on which cup your ball goes in, I'm going to ask you a question. We're going to have a little bit of a fun little conversation around wherever we land.
All right.
Okay, that was one.
Fudge.
That is the Cloud9 top laner, yes?
Budgery. Okay.
There we go. We should have planned to have you miss a few times. Let's see what this one is. Employee evaluation. Oh, so this is an exciting one.
Employee evaluation.
I've heard that a lot of CEOs like when their lower level employees give them ideas. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, of course.
So this is my opportunity to give you one.
Okay,
because
what's the
how
idea?
often do we have these face-to-face, hey, I want to tell
Hardly
you an
ever,
idea.
yeah.
I want to hear your opinion on something I think about a lot, something I bring up with the social staff. I think Dardoch, our former jungler, could have been a franchise player and one of the biggest names in North America had we kept him over Xmithy. Now, I don't want to discredit Xmithy because he obviously led us to 4 back-to-back championships. Incredible jungler. But Dardoch is this young and promising name that is still reaching the very high heights in playoffs to this day. And he's on every team. He's doing pretty well at first. So what do you think about that? Was there ever an idea of maybe sticking with him and meshing him into that player you wanted him to be?
He's an incredible player. Like when you meet Josh and you just sit down and you talk with him, he's like one of the most intelligent people and players you'll ever, chat with. He has great perspective. He's quick. The problem was that we needed results now. When Josh was on the team. It was like we couldn't invest. We didn't have the time to wait. We needed results and we needed them quickly. And I knew that Josh needed a bit more time, but he might and may still be one of the best players in his respective position in the league. It was just a lot of it was just around communication, but I could have definitely seen that, after Breaking Point and everything that was kind of captured in that documentary, the kind of connection that I had with Josh, how much I believed in him, how much we tried to make it work. I think we wouldn't have went as far as we did if that wasn't the case. And I almost kind of knew that at some point things may turn back around and he may end up coming back to Team Liquid in some way. And we maintained a good relationship even through so much turmoil and dissonance and breaking pointness through all that. But yeah, he's an incredible player, and I think his best years are probably still ahead of him.
I agree, fully agree. And it also leads me to another thing that I think Team Liquid gets written off a lot when we talk about rookies, because there's often this narrative that we're bringing in talent all the time, but there was a time when Team Liquid was the team of rookies. When you had Matt, when you had Lorla, when you had Dardoch, Golden Glue first started with us. I think Smoothie was one of our first supports.
You remember that Smoothie announcement video?
Very quickly, he was no longer on the team. Yeah. But that's okay, because what you want for your rookies is you want them to excel and you want them to find the teams that they're going to do their best in. So why do you think that narrative is kind of not painted anymore? I mean, Tactical is a great example. He's a rookie that we brought from the ground up, and he is a leader on this team, and he's a flagship member of the team. But still, this is in the air.
Yeah. To your point, yes, we've developed an incredible number of players through TL or Curse Academy or Team Curse or Team LOL Pro or Curse EU or Curse Australia. Through all of that, there's been hundreds of players that have in one way interacted with the Curse or Team Liquid organization. And, we've had varying degrees of our effect in development for those players, but they definitely gained experience underneath the organization. Yeah, I think at one point there was a stat of something like 60% of the players that were actively playing in the LCS main rosters had went through Team Curse or something, or Team Liquid, which is like pretty mind-blowing. But, at the same token, it is true. We also do import a lot, like we were the first to do the import with Elements and Edward and Piglet. And so, we were doing both. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. And the way the rules are designed for LCS, we're just looking for talent anywhere we can find it. And we were fortunate enough to build kind of a reputation at Team Liquid where players knew that they'd be treated well, that we would always do what was right for them, and they wanted to play for us. And even still to this day, like when I got on a call with Alfari and I was like, hey, Barney, would you like to play for Team Liquid? And he said, absolutely, and I said, well, you said that like pretty confidently, like, why do you feel that way? And he's like, I just know that you guys will do everything you can to win.
And he will too. And he does.
And he does, exactly. But it's like, I think we've created a brand where players know we will field the best team. We will do what we can to win. And if that means that they're not an active player on the roster, they'll understand that, right? Because of the philosophy that prevails. So that was a long-winded question or answer to your question, but I think it's just, it's a mix of imports and developing talent. And I think at the same time, we can also do more to develop talent. And actually this year is probably one of the first years where I feel like we are really doing that.
Oh, I 100% agree.
Like, in order to do it, you have to have an academy coach and academy analysts, and you have to have the head coach, and we now have a two-way coach, and we have software that we've built that correlates to, and you need to be able to have your academy team scrim your main team, and you need to be able to rotate players back and forth within those rosters. For one reason or another, that wasn't always happening, but that's happening. Like right now, this week, we have scrimmed our academy team so much, right? And the games have been competitive. And I think that really speaks to how much we've invested in having Spawn come over, who is amazing, coming and leading the team. Like, I feel like we are, and I'm not looking for like the community to recognize that. I'm just kind of explaining like, hey, that's what we're doing, and hopefully more orgs can do that, and it will just lead to more NA or OPL talent.
I also hope our fans don't see the academy team losing to Golden Guardians Academy as some big flop, because in my opinion, as someone who worked closely with these guys, our academy players are some of the most hungry and driven players in the league now. They're working so hard. They're scrimming. I know that Jenkins will 1v1 Alfari before game days. And is that something you've seen before, where you'll have a main roster player helping an academy player just out of the kindness of their heart and the drive to help increase the region's competitiveness?
They kind of have enough confidence in themselves to know, like, look, whoever's best is going to play. And if that's not me, who cares? So, but I know I have confidence to be the best. And so, yeah, we're just going to make each other better. And I think that level of confidence is really healthy, and we've been able to develop that. And also, I think Alfari has kind of a way that he likes to prep for games and that he's used in the past on previous teams. And so we wanted to make sure that we also had that environment for him here.
I'm going to take my shot now. Let's see what I land in. Because we have deviated a bit, but I want to show you my Pong skills and prove to yourself that I am a champion. I'm challenger at this.
All right, let's see
the angle. Okay, that's a miss.
That was bronze.
That was a miss. Oh, there we go. Steve, could you read me what is at the bottom of that cup? It's in my handwriting, so maybe story time. Oh, I love this one. So, Steve, you've seen it all. You've been here for a long time. How long have you been involved in League of Legends specifically?
Oh gosh, a decade.
11
years, or whenever it started.
Okay, so you've seen a lot. You've met a lot of people. Story time. It's a segment where we ask if there's any stories you've never told before. Keep in mind, this is going on the Team LiQuiD channel, so the best clickbait we can get possible will not only help you, but it'll help me help everyone. What's a story you've never been able to tell, or one you've been saving for this specific moment where you're sitting down with me?
So much pressure. How about Piglet? I don't think I've talked too much about acquiring Piglet.
Okay, let's talk about Piglet. And for our fans that are fans of the new TL, Piglet was a former SKT, now T1, world champion, played with Faker, played with Impact. He was one of the first major imports to come into the region, and it was an incredible signing when we got him.
I mean, he was a huge name, right? And I remember we were thinking about, what players could we sign? And at the time, it wasn't as commonplace for an NA team to go out and sign such an accomplished player to come to the region, right? Like that, there was no precedent for it, and there was no pathway. It wasn't like there was agents that were like now helping NA teams work with talent. There weren't agents already signed with players. It was kind of like, who did you know? And I won't say his name, but I knew somebody that
Faker.
No, that worked in the scene and that knew him. And I messaged him. I said, hey, could you set up a meeting so that we could just sit down and kind of talk about playing for the team? And he's like, yeah, I can maybe do that. And so we sent back some messages, and we ended up going and meeting at the sushi restaurant in Seoul. And his mom came. as well. Yeah, and we just got to know each other and started chatting about the team and what it would be like to play. And, I made some promises to him about, because it was big for him to like a big culture shock, like leaving, and that we'd take care of him. And ultimately, in that kind of sushi dinner, we agreed. And, I shook his hand and hugged his mom. And, that was kind of like how that came to be. Of course, paperwork and all that kind of stuff, and figuring out all the legal aspects of being able to do a proper visa and everything. But yeah, that was kind of like the first, one of the first imports that we did. I think Edward was before, and then maybe Elements.
Do you have a close relationship with a lot of your players' parents? Because I used to sit next to Smithy's dad at a lot of games.
Oh my God, I love
and
him.
What a jubilant, incredibly positive guy for the sport.
Yeah, his mom and his dad, and sometimes his sister, will come to the games, and they watch everything, and they're totally like outfitted.
Their own custom outfits. They make their own merch.
They make their own merch, and it's just awesome to see. Like they're there for every single game. And I remember we went to Jake and we were like, "Hey Jake, what do we think? What do you think about for our performance at Worlds if we fly out, you and your family?" And then he told me, "Well, you realize it's going to be like 60 people." I was like, "I don't know if I can get 60 tickets."
The Team LiQuID jet. Yeah. I love the way that sounds.
To have everybody go. But yeah, I think it's, it's a family. Like the thing is that when you're competing, you're all in, right? Your family, your friends, your support system, and it's all about supporting your performance. So you get to know friends, family, everything.
I'm excited for this weekend. For those of you watching, it's the middle of the midseason showdown. And we're going to talk about the midseason showdown while we're here. We're going to talk about the future of NA. We're going to talk about playoffs. Right now, I want to talk about the building of this roster, because we have an exciting match versus Cloud9 this week. Oh, I'm sorry. We have an exciting match versus TSM this weekend, hopefully versus Cloud9, but I think we'll be there. Do you think we'll be there?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Okay. When you're building a roster like this, what is the first objective in your mind? Is it the accomplishments they have already? Is it the hunger they have to compete? Their experience, their relationship with the players you have already? What was the biggest thing?
Yeah, going back to the offseason. So first thing was actually Jensen and working out a deal to have him re-sign with Team LiQuID. We had conversations leading up to the end of the offseason, and we were in Berlin having conversations while we were competing, and everything just didn't really connect then, and we started back up conversations. And so once we had kind of concluded conversations with him, then the next pit stop was top lane. And in conversations with Impact, Impact's amazing. Like, I can't actually share some of this, but some of the things that Impact did were, I've never seen a player do that were so genuine and had so much integrity. It was like jaw-dropping. And he's an incredible player, and he's performed so well this split as the season as well. And so, yeah, so it was really kind of tough to figure out, should we re-sign or not? And we were very open and transparent with him. We said, look, we would like to re-sign you, but we have one player in particular that we would prefer to sign. And that player is Alfari. And we want to just be open and honest with you about that. And hopefully that's okay with you. But he was very respectful of that and kind of our decision on it. And then when we had the opportunity to chat with Barney, we first, well, I guess I'll step back. One of the reasons why we went after him was first his stats. We look at a lot of different things, but stats are, I think, really important. You can look at some stats and you can weigh certain stats over other stats, but let's just say, I don't want to give too much of the secret sauce, but like, we look at stats.
Is the most important thing.
Yeah, just KDA. We just looked at that. And so, so we looked at that, and that was really good. And then the second thing is really attitude. And everything that we heard about his attitude was that it was insane, right? Like, he was somebody that was willing to commit to focus on himself and his his mental game and how he takes care of himself, and also his own performance and his play. He was our top choice, and
Top choice for top.
top choice for top, and it worked out. And then in terms of jungle, it was really, the thing was with Broxa, we only did a 1-year agreement with him, and there's pros and cons to doing a 1-year agreement, right? Like if you're on a 1-year agreement, then you're kind of both saying like, hey, we both need to prepare for the off season, right? Like there's no guarantee for the next year. And so we were just, again, open and honest and direct about that. Looked like, hey, we're going to evaluate options. He was going to go and evaluate options. I did as much as I could to personally help in that process as well. And and it was kind of obvious just based on the number of imports that were allowed. We're like, okay, what can we do? What can we not do? And so it was kind of obvious what we were going after. I think the entire community knew.
Yeah.
And so it was
Day 2 of Worlds postseason
at all. And so and that was a great conversation. And at that point, we were just kind of working out budgets and overall spend for our League of Legends roster, which we were already over what we had budgeted. And so kind of working that into what we could for the season, while we were also expanding our staffs as well. It was just kind of a considerable investment, and but at the same time, we wanted to do everything we could to win and build a rockstar team. So that's what we put forward, and I think this is one of the best rosters that we've ever built.
I agree. Do you think it's the strongest roster you've ever built?
I think we're not currently the strongest, but they can be.
I agree.
Yeah.
When you heard Perkz was on the market, did that you had already signed Jensen, so obviously you can't go back on that.
No.
Oh, you hadn't?
We hadn't re-signed Jensen.
Okay.
We hadn't re-signed Jensen.
Was that ever a thought in your mind? Maybe we should go for Perkz, or did you know?
Oh, of course. I mean, you always consider every option. I don't know what I mean,
it's okay. You can tell me. I promise I won't tell anyone.
No one's watching. No, we just found out his buyout number, roughly what it might be, and we were like,
too much, not for us.
Yeah.
Did you have the same excitement? And maybe this is a loaded question, but when you signed a player like Core JJ, who was fresh off or a year off of a world championship, or when you signed Double Lift in 2017, right off franchising, has that excitement been matched? Was it matched this year when you signed Alfari and Santorin, or is it a different kind of excitement because you're no longer trying to be the best, you are in the realm of the best, and now it's about trying to be the best of the best?
Yeah. I mean, yes, we won a bunch of championships, but the goal has always been Worlds, and the meme has always been Worlds, and NA's performance and all that kind of stuff. So, we wanted to, make another attempt to do a really good job, not only for ourselves, but for NA. And that's why we built the roster that we did. And in terms of buzz, I think that there's been a little bit of dampening on just LCS in general because of COVID and like not being in the studio and being able to interact. And there's definitely a feeling that's missed from that. It's hard to put like an emotion on it, but it just doesn't feel the same.
This year's playoffs has been one of the lowest viewed in years. And that could be accounted towards COVID. It could be counted towards later time slots for EU, so they're not watching. It could be because these big flagship players like Double Lift and like Bjergsen are no longer in the league. Regardless of why it is, what do you think we need to be doing to bringing those numbers up?
So
solve the issue right now.
That's a big question. I would say, if I had to rank them, I'd say 1, do better at Worlds and international events.
Okay.
I think that from an international perspective, more people watch the regions that are doing the best. People want to watch the best. That's just how it works. So the more consistently NA performs at Worlds or MSI, more people will watch the league. That's number 1. Number 2, I think the content, shoulder content, the graphics to the look and the feel and the vibe and the quality of the broadcast, we could do a better job. And hopefully, that's just being us honest with ourselves. And I think stepping up our production value in the LCS. We've changed a lot, right? Like we went from having games on Mondays to on weekends. And when you don't get familiar with something and it doesn't settle in as like the way things constantly are and they're changing, people forget. It's like, wait, is there a game on Friday? At what time? Like on Saturday? What's the narrative? Like so much of the content of LCS just needs to be really thoughtfully executed and stay consistent. So I think that could also really help with the double lift pulls big numbers. Dom pulls big numbers.
Sometimes bigger than the LCS.
Yeah, like big numbers. And I think there's also been a good amount of viewership that has switched to YouTube as well. And so and I think the disparity between YouTube and Twitch, especially from Europe compared to NA, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, to be honest with you. So I'm not trying to argue that those are the only reasons. But, it's just looking at all of it. But overall, I think winning is definitely the way to go internationally, and doing really well. Like when we beat the previous MSI finalists in MSI and did really well, like those are moments when you're just like, wow, like NA has like some hope.
They can do it.
We can do it, right? And they just can't be blips. They've got to be more consistent.
This weekend, we have a matchup of our match versus TSM, a rematch from our first match during the beginning of the midseason showdown, also known as playoffs. When we had that first 3-1 versus TSM, was that an obvious match to you? You knew we were going to come away with the win? Were you ever worried?
I mean, I think we go into every match with anybody can win, but a level of confidence that we will win, which I think is healthy. And whenever we play Andy, I definitely want to win, and we usually do win, and that's great.
We did for 530 days in a row at one point.
That's a lot of days. That's a lot of days. I think it's. I'm confident going into this weekend. I'll put it that way, and just watching the team scrim and stuff. But it's who shows up on that day, how band pick goes, and barring any kind of things out of our control that may affect this weekend, just got to roll with the punches.
And do you like the double elimination bracket format that we've gone to? Do you think that's better for viewership and for competitiveness in general?
Yeah, I do like the double elimination. I've always enjoyed it in Dota. I think it's really good and it's super hype. I do wish that the matches weren't so far like week to week. It feels like there's like a disconnect in watching the upper bracket and lower bracket. You kind of like forget who's in what, So I feel like there needs to be like a tighter schedule for playoffs. It feels a little bit drawn out for me with the upper and lower bracket, but I do like it better.
Oh, and this weekend, Saturday versus TSM, what's the score? What do you predict?
Another 3-1.
Another 3-1. And Sunday versus Cloud9. Cloud9 social media is going to post this clip if we lose. So what is your prediction for that match?
I'd say 3-1.
3-1 us or 3-1?
Of course.
Okay, of course. Yeah, what am I saying? I don't even have a lost tweet prepared, Steve. Why would I have a lost tweet prepared?
Damn it, Ben.
I want to talk about the future of NA because there's a lot of moving pieces right now, and there's a lot of goals we want to reach. We want to be more competitive. We want to have higher viewerships. We want this to be a region where players want to come and join these high organizations. Yeah. What do you see as the future of NA? I know there's been some talk, very minor talk, but NA, people are saying NA should maybe be considered a minor region if we don't perform at Worlds again this year, because how are we any different than if Vietnam is a minor region and they're making it into at least the quarterfinals? How can we justify being a major region other than the capital that we have in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best performing regions should get more slots at Worlds, right? And I think part of it too is, and I believe that, all of those things are up to the discretion of global esports at Riot, but NA makes a considerable investment into its teams, its players, its infrastructure, its sport, and I think we've done a hell of a good job of bringing so much viewership, brands, and professionalism to the space that wouldn't have otherwise happened if it wasn't kind of laid out in NA. And I know that competitively we have underperformed year after year after year to expectations, but there's still hope. And me even just talking about the level of infrastructure that we've built this past year in comparison to previous years being so much more substantial, those things pay off over time, and I have confidence in that.
Do you get sick of asking or answering the question, what makes NA more competitive, or what could make us more competitive? Is there a question you wish people were asking instead?
I mean, what makes us more competitive? I think, God, there's so many things.
Alfari for one thing.
Yeah, exactly. More imports. I think for NA to be more competitive, it's just a multifaceted thing, and it requires more investment from more teams that are participating in the league. It requires more infrastructure, more staff that are working with the teams, and it requires better solo queue and lower ping, and all these things kind of combine into it. There's no black and white flip a switch and then all of a sudden. But these are all they sound like excuses at this point, because it's been so long, and they are. So it's like, well, at some point you just need to deliver results, and that's what we're trying to do.
When are you going to sub into support and really deliver those results?
No, that would not be results. That would be a resulting
They
loss.
would be results. They would just be resulting, in a loss.
A loss.
We're going to play a game right now. As we're in the midst of the mid-season showdown, we want to play a few clips for you, and we're going to ask you if you can tell us which games these were from in Team Liquid playoffs history. And there are 3 clips.
Memory lane.
If you get 2 of them right, but you get 1 wrong, I'm going to ask. So here are the stakes.
No, wait. So what do I have to? I have to say what game it was against what team?
What game it was, when it was. So was it spring? Was it summer?
Holy shit! I'm going to fail on all.
Well,
this.
you're a very hands-on CEO, so I expect you to know these things. But if you get at least 1 wrong, 1 of 3 wrong, you have to call my parents while we're on the air and tell them I'm doing a great job. Okay?
I can do that. All right.
We're going to roll our first clip.
So far, TSM has outmaneuvered. Sven! No quick silver sash. He is down. He is shut down.
What is he
now
doing?
The Baron.
Oh, come on. You were supposed to get this one. This is supposed to be the easy one.
This is the 5th game against TSM where we reverse swept at St. Louis. Or wait.
I don't know the venue, but if you tell me the year and the
Oh shit. I think it was summer 2000. Spring.
Yeah. Spring. There we go.
Okay, so spring 2019.
I can't believe you don't remember when that was. You had $100,000 bet riding on that game.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly, but I can't remember the year.
Okay, so maybe we should have designed a better game. Maybe we should have walked through this before we did the game.
Yeah, was that game 5?
That was game 5. You were right about what game it was. It was just the month or the region,
year,
season.
Yeah. I remember the venue. I think it was St. Louis. Maybe I can't remember.
I'm going to turn to the non-audience member of Tech People. Was it St. Louis? It was St. Louis. There we go.
Okay, so I was close.
And when you beat TSM in that match, that was after you'd already beaten 100 Thieves in the spring 2019 or 2018 finals, after you'd beaten Cloud9 in the summer of 2018 finals, and now you beat TSM. You've beaten 3 of the biggest, outside of us, the 3 biggest LCS organizations at the time. Was that like the trifecta? Did you feel like now we are really champions? We took down Cloud9, we took down 100 Thieves, we took down Perkz, and we took down TSM, we took down Reggie.
That sounds pretty hype. But, especially when you say it. But I think it was just more, like winning the championship, and that just meant a lot, especially after, Curse and, the struggles during promotion relegation, and then to finally win the first championship, and then the championship, and then the championship, and then the championship. It was kind of
no championship.
And then the no championship. Fuck. But yeah, that was, it was just about winning, and like that realization of all that effort and energy that you put into something, and seeing the result. Sometimes it doesn't always pay off.
We actually had a lost tweet prepared for that one. We have a new strategy on the social media team. We prepare a lost tweet, and then once we're typing it, somehow we always come back. So maybe that's the jinx we needed.
Okay. All right. Just whatever you're doing when we win, just keep doing this.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll do that. Okay. We're going to play our second clip for you real quick.
Chase down now. Demonte's in trouble though. Oh, but Demonte's got some
There would be audio
fast
here.
speed.
Captain Flowers is usually talking.
That hula hoop's good for jumping and spinning
I'll shoutcast it. Demonte's going, and then
going to be taken
there
down
we
yet.
go.
Lyra buying some time with the stasis here in the middle of multiple Team Liquid members.
shut down. Credit over to Jensen. They'll grab the kill onto him. Core JJ is still alive in the back line, but Cody Sun's grabbing the kill onto Smithy. And now those leftovers you left in the fridge, that looks good. And
What great casting from Flowers.
Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
It's Clutch Gaming. It's, who remembers that to begin with?
That game was from Miami.
No.
That game was from.
I'll give you a hint. It was in the studio.
It was in the studio.
The LCS studio.
I really don't know.
That was from the summer of 2019. For 2019? Yeah, summer 2019. See, I had to look at my cheat sheet.
Yeah.
It was a 5-game series. Apparently, no one expected it to go to 5 games. I surely didn't.
Yeah. I forget. I've just I don't even have a memory of that game. I can't remember.
You've just won so many playoffs that they all start to blend together after a certain point.
Damn it.
Do you remember any of last year's, or are those completely blacked out?
They're gone at this point.
Oh, we got one more clip for you. This was supposed to be the tricky one, so...
And now his cube. Hold on, suppressed. Going down, double lift, very low, misses the flash over the wall. Cannon Barrage might get this one, but he does get chrono shift. Eyes on double lift as he comes back up full HP. Instantly back down on the ground. Double lift now caught in the frying pan as 100 Thieves has the fight. They're gonna get...
That was from a while ago. That must have been 2018.
It was 2018.
Yeah. Spring or summer.
Spring. It was spring. There we go. If you just say all the options, eventually you will get one right. Now, Steve, I hate to be the guy that holds you to your word, but this is my dad's phone number.
Okay.
I think he'd appreciate a call from you. He Googles you all the time.
Okay. All right.
Don't go through my photos, please.
No.
And don't search Steve in my Slack, because I've said some not so pleasant things.
Oh. Hello? Hey, what's up? How's it going? This is Steve Arhancet, co-CEO over at TL.
Co-CEO, Dad, not the CEO.
I'm here.
Are you the dean of the medical school?
Yeah, that too. No. So Ben, I'm actually on the Bud Light show over with Ben, and I just wanted to give you a call because Ben has done a spectacular job working and doing all of the memes and content that's published across the Team Liquid League of Legends accounts.
Alongside Cheery.
And yeah, I just wanted to let you know that your son is doing an incredible job. He's amazing.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that his comedy degree paid off.
It is. It's paying off.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
I'll call you later and explain. Thanks, Dad. Love you. Bye.
Oh, your dad sounds sweet.
He is a sweet guy. He's been preparing jokes for whenever you call. He wishes you would call more, honestly.
Okay, I should.
We're reaching the end of our show, Steve. I really appreciate you coming on and talking to me.
Yeah.
But before we go, we have some fan questions from Twitch chat.
Okay.
So we're going to go through those real quick. Here's one from the crazy KF Clive. When is the time in the future for recruitment challenges for small creators? Oh, I guess when are you recruiting small creators? When do you look for small content creators in the League of Legends sphere, or do you only look for big streaming names?
Yeah, we haven't set up a program yet for smaller creators to join the organization. We do have a really great community on Discord where we have a lot of folks that are contributing content and kind of joining our viewing parties and hanging out with TL staff and with our Liquid Plus staff, and it's good times. And yeah, outside of that, we're that's kind of what we do.
We have a question from Heelzy. They want to know what you think of the Big Benson meme. Do you know the Big Benson meme?
Yes, I have seen it.
Yeah. What for those of you who don't know, Big Benson is whenever we play Demonte, who is known as Tanner Time,
Yep.
We put Jensen on Big Ben and we call it Big Benson. It's really clever. It's hysterical. It's the most well-liked meme in the LCS right now.
I love it too. It's great. Yeah. I remember seeing it for the first time. I was like, oh, Tanner Time, cute. I like it. Yeah, it's good.
So you
good
like
stuff.
it?
Yeah, of course. It's awesome.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
V wants to know what you're doing with Jensen's hair. Do we make haircuts? That got a laugh. Do we make haircuts a part of the mandatory contract? What is going on?
What is going on? I mean, it is COVID right now, so there's only like so much you could do. With
I hear
your hair.
Dardoch can do bowl cuts. I've seen the academy team's haircuts.
I really can't speak for Jensen's hair. I have no idea, but I mean, you got to give the man a break.
One fan wants to know if you will be at the Greek Theater this weekend.
I unfortunately will not be. I'll be hanging out on my porch. So the Greek Theater is not going to have a studio audience. It's really, really small back there, the rooms and how much space can be used and stuff. So they're not even going to have a screen where you can watch the games sitting in the audience. Like it's not like the real deal with COVID and everything.
But there was a prospect of you being in the audience, right? At one time?
Yeah, I was thinking about going down there and just sitting on my Alienware laptop and
Drinking a Bud Light.
watching the games from my laptop in the Greek Theater in the audience. There's some complications logistically, so I couldn't make it happen, unfortunately.
I know you're very passionate. This is something I argue with my friends a lot at home about, and I think we're on the same side. Does the Olympics need esports?
Well, I think the Olympics needs esports more than esports needs the Olympics.
Qualify that.
The Olympics, while an amazing display of athleticism around the world, there are, some problems with the Olympics. Mm-hmm. And most recently, I think there was a guy that runs the Olympic Committee for the Tokyo Games that said something really stupid that was kind of appalling and sexist. And I just was like, who are some of these people that are running like these events? Like, what the hell? I don't know. It was just left a bad taste in my mouth. So anyways, I love the Olympics. I don't mean to say anything negative about it, but yeah, I guess I did. But I don't think esports needs to be there in order to be legitimized.
Got it. Well, Steve, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
This has been a lot of fun.
Check out LiQuiD Plus. LiQuiD Plus is very fun. You want to talk about LiQuiD Plus for a second?
Yes, I'd love to talk about LiQuiD Plus.
There we go. Here's Steve's plug. As if Team Liquid X Bud Light was not enough of a plug. Let's do one more in here.
No, if you haven't heard about LiQuiD Plus is just it's a place where if you're a Team Liquid fan and you want to show your fandomship for our teams, our players, and have that basically earn you loyalty points, or what we call LiQuiD Plus points, then you can redeem those things for experiences with your favorite team or players, or you can redeem them for actual goods. Like,
you want me to grab it real quick? I'll grab it.
I don't know if we're allowed to show it, but like stuff like this. And so like, it's just like a way of taking your loyalty and like fandomship and all that kind of stuff, and just having it rewarded and to create a community of folks. So it's been amazing. We've had so many folks join LiQuiD Plus. So if you don't know about it, just go to liquidplus.com
And while you're at it, follow Bud Light Gaming on Twitter.
Please
like
do.
and retweet their tweet for a chance to win Bud Light merch, a signed Team Liquid jersey, which
Let's go.
Which is just an awesome thing because they're going to win Worlds, so it's worth so much more this year than it has in the previous years.
And we'll just NFT it after that.
NFT it, and then also get a free year's worth of beer, not an NFT, that is physical beer.
You get an NFT, you get a Bud Light NFT now.
Steve, thank you for sitting down with me.
No,
cheers.
Great. Cheers.
Mazel
Thanks for
tov.
having me.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Bud Light, for making this happen.
Thank you, Bud Light. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.